Hi everybody, my name is Elliot Turner. A little bit of background information on me. I live in Denver. I founded a company there called Orchestr8. We've been in stealth mode for some time now. Prior to forming Orchestr8, I founded a network intrusion detection company called MimeStar. It was acquired in June of 2000 by a publicly traded networking and security company. My background's mainly in networking, security, and artificial intelligence. So today I'm going to be talking about mashups. How many people here are actually familiar with what a web mashup is or has used a mashup? Okay, pretty good number. So how many of those same people have actually created a mashup before? A couple. That's what I thought. So that's why I'm here. The title of the talk is Mashups for the Masses, Alchemy Point in the Programmable Internet. I'm going to start first by quickly going over why mashups exist, why people are creating these things. So essentially, I'm going to state this premise. Users want customization. People want to be in control over their internet experience. You know, the internet puts us in a pretty unique situation today. We've got access to a wide variety of information, more than we've ever really had before. But there's a problem. People aren't in control, you know, and it comes down to a fundamental fact about web design. Websites are designed with the needs of many in mind, not the needs of the individual. So if I have specific queries that are relevant to my user experience, things like, how far is this restaurant from my home or office? How are the reviews? What's their health code inspection history? The website's not going to answer those questions for me. And that's really where mashups come into play, because rather than the individual having to piece this information together on their own, the mashup does it for them. So obviously, based on the number of hands that were raised, this isn't an easy thing to do. Customizing the internet's a hard thing. The internet's complex, and most people just simply aren't programmers, and the few tools that are out there are aimed at developers only. So enter Alchemy Point. What are we trying to do? Three things. One, we think that end users should be able to manipulate the web without any sort of programming whatsoever. Additionally, we think that if you're going to be able to manipulate the web, and if it's going to be a useful thing to do, that you should be able to do it right from your web browser, within the context that you're already in. No external tools, no opening up config files, none of that stuff. And additionally, we think that once you've manipulated a website and done something useful, you should be able to share it with your friends. So how do we do this? From the user perspective, we've got a toolbar. User visits a website, they select a desired manipulation, the web page reloads showing the desired change. Once they've done this, they can easily turn off or on manipulations, seeing the website as it originally was. And they can even publish or share those manipulations with other people, friends, and so forth. Even non-Alchemy Point users. We do this with a public proxy DNS service that basically gives a special URL that you can pass out to your friends to have access to the content. So that said, let's go into a quick demo. So here we've got a company website, Collective Intellect. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. Local Boulder tech startup. We see here that we've got an address. Well, gee, it would be nice if I'm not familiar with the area and I wanted to know where it was, if I could find out a map for that address. So I choose Insert Map for Address In. I select the desired content of the page, and the page reloads showing me a Yahoo map. Now the neat thing about this is, if I browse away from that page and browse back, you'll see that the content's still there. Okay, so that's a pretty simple example, inserting a map. Let's do something more interesting. I do a lot of Wikipedia lookups in my day-to-day activities. I'm sure a lot of you do too. Google does a pretty good job of integrating those into search results, but sometimes it's not good enough. It'd be nice if I could have a Wikipedia page that was directly on my Google homepage. So now, if I go to google.com, I can do Wikipedia searches or Google searches. So you're probably wondering, what are these commands that I keep seeing in this browser? We've got a number here, manipulating web content, emailing content to users, embedding feeds, embedding widgets, all sorts of stuff. These aren't hard-coded product features, but rather user-created web manipulations, web orchestrations, if you will. So what do they look like? Let's take a quick example.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Great. So say I want to do something in the morning. Here's a quick example of a manipulation. It's written in XML. Say I want to email content. Here's another. So essentially what we're building is a social mashup platform. Technical users can create new base level web manipulations, things like emailing content, embedding Wikipedia links, inserting related images. These can use a variety of APIs on the web that can directly scrape content from sites. And then, once these manipulations have been created on a very low level, they can be shared with other users so that it can be applied to any website that you desire. CNN, Google, doesn't matter. This allows end users to manipulate the web, share their creations with others, and that's essentially it. Any questions?
I'll take the first one. Sorry, I think I know your question. We'll see. Grease Monkey.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it?
Sure.
Comparison?
So Grease Monkey is a developer tool. It's
Right.
pretty hard to use Grease Monkey to customize a web page unless you actually know JavaScript.
Okay.
Our tool, it's got both a mouse selection system that allows you to click on the content you desire. You'll see in some of these examples. And you can also just textually describe the content that you desire by saying, I want the third link in this table, or I want the George W. Bush image, or I want the, whatever. So there's a lot of flexibility with our system that's simply not provided by the tools.
Good.
Yeah, how complex is your parsing facility?
Yeah, so are you talking about command parsing or web page parsing?
Page parsing.
Yeah, we've got months and months and months worth of effort put into that.
So custom.
Yeah, it's a custom engine. It uses a lot of heuristics. Anybody who's done a lot of HTML screen scraping work knows that it's not always easy to associate a particular textual label in a page with, say, an image or a link or so forth. So we do a lot of heuristic type stuff to figure out what you're actually asking for when you specify what you want on a page.
Right in the front here.
How do you support a company out of this? I mean, who buys it or?
Sure, great question. So let me go back to my PowerPoint here. So essentially, we're working on a professional edition of this product that allows business corporate users to create enterprise mashups. This allows you to take enterprise databases, Corba, web services, all these things, and integrate them with existing stuff that's on the web and to perform useful business activities and tasks within your organization. So we're basically planning on selling Professional Edition, and we're also planning on allowing for pay-for-placement listings in our user mashup directory for the consumer product.
We'll come here in the front, and then we'll come back to you.
I'm curious how much you're leveraging microformats with this, if at all.
Microformats is something that we're leveraging, actually. We've got a couple attention mashups that can, for instance, do auto-tagging of blogs that you read to Delicious and so forth. And these can pull out, using microformats, structured information that's already in a page, things like tags, addresses, and so forth. In my original example, you saw that we inserted a map for an arbitrary address in a web page. That's not a microformat situation. We're actually using heuristics to detect where the address is in the page, to parse it out and do that. But we also do support microformats for more structured stuff.
Cool. Do me a favor when you raise your hand, say your name first so people can get familiar with everybody. Sorry.
All right, my name is Chris. Chris with a K. I came from Chicago for this.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm actually in town for business. How are you navigating copyright? Because as your IP attorney, you should be having a coronary.
Sure. Great question. I was actually expecting that to be the first question. Well, it's our opinion that what you do on your own machine is your own business. As long as you're not selling and republishing that content and trying to insert ads on it, it's fair use. As an example, if I take a magazine and...
I think you're in for a tough road to hoe. I really do. I mean, I think that's going to be a difficult thing to navigate.
Sure.
I wish you all the luck. It's a cool app. But I mean, there's so many people. I mean, like CNN outputs an RSS feed. There's a huge laundry list of things you can't do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's for individual use. It's like home box office. If you're at a bar, you can't. A bar is not supposed to be playing HBO.
Certainly.
It's the same sort of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there are going to be sites that.
As far as playing well, that's something we've put thought into. And our connector architecture, as far as what accesses third-party APIs and sites, Delicious and so forth, it has built-in rate-limiting facilities and other features that allow it to abide by the API usage guidelines that these sites put forth.
We got 2 more questions.
Stuart Compton, Eidolon. I was just wondering, it seems like your tool is, especially publishing a link for someone else to look at the same mashup, seems a little dangerous for phishing.
Sure. Yeah, phishing is an issue. When our public proxy is used, it puts a warning page first before the user can actually go into the content. And also, as far as pages that you can publish to other people, it's a more limited command set. You can't insert content from arbitrary sources. It's mainly, we're looking as a blogger tool. For instance, if you're a blogger, you can bold and highlight specific portions of text on an article you'd like to link to. You can even insert a chat widget, so when people go to that page, they can talk back to you. So that's really more what we're looking at for the public sharing. It's really a way for people to sort of dip their feet into the system and see what's possible with mashups. We hope everyone actually installs the system and does it that way.
We'll take one more question. Dennis, do you want to come set up?
Yeah.
Go to the projector.
One other thing.
Last one in the back, sorry.
We're releasing a soap stack. This is part of our system. If anyone wants a copy of it, I've got some pre-releases today. I'll have them after the talk. It's LGPL, C++, really fast, SOAP 1.1, 1.2. So if anyone wants a copy, let me know.
Great. So one last question from over here. State your name and then we'll.
In your demo, you showed an XML interface for actually making your options.
Yeah.
Are you planning a graphical interface? Because that's not really friendly to people.
Sure, yeah. We've actually got one in development. I didn't want to show it today because it's still got some quirks. It's going to be out by the end of the quarter. And it's a flowchart style web orchestration designer that allows you to output that XML. But from an end user's perspective, they can still do a lot of stuff by using the commands that are already built directly from within the browser.